Millennial Pause, and we are live, or so the screen says. Let me go ahead and check out the YouTube to make sure it's all coming in nice and clear. You enjoy the gals behind me. Take a gander. I'll try to fill the dead air. Just a sec. I just had it. God damn it. There it is. We sound okay. We sound okay. All right. I feel good. I feel good. Let's get it going. Well, first, let me greet you. According to my notes, that's what I'm supposed to do. Greetings and salutations to all the fine shits out there. Welcome to Sacktap Live. I'm Mike Montone. You can find me on Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram at Gary_Moyler, Moyler. But honestly, the best place to get at me is right here in the comments section on Sacktap Live or my YouTube. If you go to at Mike's Golden Streams, or if you look for Mike Montone Sacktap Live, it should eventually lead you to the right place. You'll find your way there. And you can join us for this show Friday nights at 8 p.m. And a word on that, next week, there's a chance that it may be a pre-record, and then I'll be off the Friday going into Labor Day weekend. And then the Friday after that, I'm not sure, maybe a pre-record or something. I have a function to be at on Friday evening or late Friday afternoon. I won't be able to get back in time to do the stream. So that's the next couple of weeks, just to keep you in the loop. So the I guess the way to just present this is to start with this this fucking picture. This came across, I mean, these are some horrible pictures here. I'll share what I'm talking about in a moment. Oh, there's a couple. But this was the New York Post. And I'll show it real quick. Oops, I pressed the wrong thing. They changed the fucking there we go. Make sure I share the right one. Yeah, they changed the interface. But I'll just pop this here for a second. And what you're just for clarity, what you're seeing, because I realize it is pixelated. What you're looking at is two people having. I'm not sure if this is a woman bent over or a man. But this is two people having sex from behind on a street in Harlem in the New York City borough of Manhattan. And this is this is 4:30 on a Wednesday afternoon. I guess the photographer told the New York Post, and I'll get that out of here. YouTube's weird about that kind of stuff, so I don't want it to linger for too long. But yeah, they were so that was either a man and a woman just having doggy style, or two men doing butt stuff outside of a safe injection site in Harlem. And I think safe injection sites are probably a good idea to a degree, but that picture, when I saw it, was just so indicative of what is going on in the area right now. The old Harlem Shake, Andrew Bennett, very good. I was walking, I live in a relatively residential neighborhood, and I was walking. It's still light in the morning a little bit when I'm walking to the bus, and there was a migrant just taking a shit outside of a McDonald's. Like, there's a strip mall, and then there's behind it, there's just a street with like a row of row homes and stuff, and that's the street that I walk up to get to the bus stop in the morning, and they've turned the rear of this McDonald's into, it's just a migrant camp now, and nobody seems to give a shit. Like, it's just, they're there. Like, that is their spot. They have taken over. It's Jersey City. It's a Democrat-run city, and they do not give a shit. And I literally walked by this morning, and it's always been different parts of the neighborhood. For whatever reason, this summer, it's behind the McDonald's. They used to go into the park, and you would walk through, and you'd find them like sleeping amongst the bushes or like in the children's playground equipment and whatnot. But yeah, there was just a guy taking a shit, and then I watched him. This is not the first time living in this area that I, walking down the street, have seen a grown man wiping his ass just in broad daylight. So that was that, and then I was in the Port Authority bathroom, taking a piss the other day. It was this week, and there was a homeless guy who looked like a legitimate demon. Like, I don't know if he was like a burn victim or something like that. Like, I don't know if like he was incredibly high one day and wound up doing something that resulted in his face getting torched, but he looked just like a fucking, like, Two-Face. He looked like both of both sides of his face were two-faced, and he had these like White Walker eyes, and he was just kind of like looking up like that, walking out of the bathroom. And it's fucking, it really is like, I had to take a piss the other day, and I saw there's this one vagrant who I see all the time who I'm like, oh, this guy is definitely particularly dangerous. He was walking in there, and I just decided, this is a good day. This is a good day not to take a piss. But yeah, the current state of this area, it fascinates me why so many people come here. Because then I go out, midday, and I'm walking back to the bus, and there's just lines and lines of elderly. It's just old people lined up to catch Broadway matinees. That's like their big outing. They go to a matinee, and then they go to Junior's for some lunch and some cheesecake. It's a big day out for these people. And that's like a different kind of interesting. Like, so if you're in your 80s now, I guess, because this is an activity enjoyed by people in their 80s, but like, it's so weird because like my parents are in my mother's in her, late 60s, my father's in his early 70s. They're part of the sort of, the pickleball old people generation, where they're very active and kind of spry. These old people who they appear to be in their 80s and, and up, are doing more of the old people, the way I remember it from my childhood, when the old women, and I swear to fucking God, I'm looking back. My mother made me a family like photo memory book for my 40th birthday, and I'm looking back through it at the pictures, and I had to ask how old my grandmothers were in these pictures, and it turns out I think they were in like their early 50s, but they already had like the short, sensible haircuts. My one grandmother, Nani, had this like little like afro, and she would just her and my great grandmother would just wear these fucking muumuus around the house. And apparently that started when they were in their 50s. And I remember they would go, they weren't big Broadway matinee people. They were big, they would take bus trips to AC, which was, I guess, sort of another version of this. But the sort of the pantsuit or the sweater with a brooch on it and a pair of slacks for grandma, So I think the last of them, old people as we know it, are in their 80s. Like that's the cutoff. Um, they're that's a very dying breed. Like I don't think that's going to exist anymore. Like that goes, I guess, with the the silent generation, I think they called them, right before the boomers, was the silent generation. So I guess when the silent generation dies off completely, and maybe some of the much older boomers, we lose that aesthetic completely, which is kind of a shame. It's sort of an unspoken relic of the 80s and the 90s, and the pop culture of those years was the depiction of old people like that, right? The sort of Golden Girls style old lady. And yes, very correct, 206 kid. 60-year-olds today are a lot younger than 60-year-olds from 30 years ago, and I always point to like the fact that if you look at MILF porn now, like Brandy Love is 50 years old. Like that is a wild standard compared to when I look back through this fucking family photo album, and I see the grandmothers and like the great aunts with those butch fucking ridiculous, just sexless, genderless. This is easy to maintain. I no longer need to appeal to my husband hairstyles. And it also blows my mind that these people are like, we're going to spend our time, it's them. Midtown Manhattan is like scores of them and Europeans and people from flyover country who really want to see this place. And I don't know if they're incredibly disappointed when they do and they show up and they realize that it's like an M&M store, an American Eagle, and there's nothing actually going on there. Like it's not, Times Square is not a thing. Like they've tricked you. Like you showed up and there was nothing there. It's literally, there's some steps you can sit on. You might see the desnudas. I love the desnudas. They have fat asses. They're a lot of fun. What desnudas are my favorite feature of Times Square, but it's just such a stupid place to visit, and it blows my mind that people do that. Like I get in and out of that bitch as quickly as possible. Yes, cheese. Just an incredible Paulie Walnuts line. When I was young, you were old. Now I'm old, and you're still old. I fucking love it. Good evening to all the fellas out there. Paul Crosby, Andrew, Derek, Cheese, Rooster, Philly Fathead, Semper Fi, brother man, brother man, brother man, brother Wheeze. Yeah, 70s, 80s, and 90s. There's such a difference. But porn in the 90s it went down a weird road. Like 70s and 80s porn was very it's so weird. Like it looked like pretty much they would take any guy as long as he had like a reasonably big penis, but like it was just these very, very hideous dudes sometimes covered in body hair, just fucking these overly made up women who really the only sort of standard to do porn for the women was that you not be like a complete lard ass, and then they would just cake them in makeup and throw them out there. And then you get to the 90s, and the 90s, there was everything got kind of like the 90s were a very over the top decade. Like that lingered. The 80s, there was a sort of bombasticness to the 80s that accelerated into the 90s, even though like as some of you may be spending a lot of time right now thinking of 90s alt rock for whatever reason, which obviously was a big departure from the music of the 80s. Um, and it was sort of like a down to, right? The music of the 80s was very like pumped up and excited and happy and wacky and fun. A lot of that, like 90s alt rock is very. They're constantly talking about their feelings and they're sad about this and that and failing relationships and drug overdoses, and it's a very kind of like it's Gen X bring down stuff. You've never met people who have been in a fucking worse mood than Gen X. I mean, those fucking cranks. Whatchamacallit? That was reflected, I feel, in the pornography, where there were a lot of large breasts, a lot of over-the-top fake tits, and we saw the wide-scale removal of pubic hair, and I feel like the strap-on dildo became much more prevalent. Big changes. Wayward Native, I will get to your comment in a second, but I did want to check Cheese. Yeah, I've definitely gone back to watch porn from 06 to 09, and I'm blown away by the advances in just video quality. Like I almost can't jerk off to it because the quality of the videos has gotten so much better. Just the actual image quality and everything. It's interesting. Like scenes that I used to really enjoy, I watch and I'm like distracted by the video quality. Hey, Mike, I made it to DJ's in Belmar on the family vacation. Smaller than I thought. There was a guy dressed in white feathers wearing 3D glasses that really needed a punch to the face. That sounds about right. People are, by the way, DJs, DJAIS, DJs. It's French. Yes, a very, very small place, which is part of its charm, is that when it gets bumping late on a Saturday night, it is fucking, or even in the middle of the day on a weekend, it feels like it's 2:00 in the morning at 2 in the afternoon sometimes. But yes, there is. It used to be purely a Guido club, and then Asbury went through a resurgence where more and more people started showing up there, and Asbury is very popular with the gays, and the gays do love a good dance club, so you get a good sampling of them at DJs now, and then you do get a little bit of a fratty crowd there once in a while. Wayward Native, the cash only. There is one bar that you can use a card at, but you have to understand that with the amount of business a place like that does, you know, I obviously I can't say for sure, but the common line of thinking amongst most people who go there is that you want to be in control of how much the IRS finds out about. But I was at DJ's the past 2 Saturdays, so it is entirely possible that we may have crossed paths. But yeah, it's fucking, it's DJ's. It's a scene. You go there. You go to DJ's in Belmar specifically to get weird. You check the ego at the door and you walk in for a good time. It's like Mardi Gras every day there. Just lots of fun. A great place to haul off and bang a 6 with a lot of makeup, a large breasts and a big ass, and I highly recommend that anyone who's visiting the shore check out DJs. If you can't have a good time there, you can't have a good time anywhere. Of course, the MILF Hunter. We all respect and appreciate. I believe his name's Sean. Sean's work. There was a thin, foreign-born blonde with defined abs working the bar. Yes, they do have some. You catch some very attractive bartenders there. Bamboo Lounge in Seaside Heights had some incredible bartenders. They used to bartend in thong bikinis. It was an absolute treat. And I am actually seaside bound this weekend, which leads me to this article, because Seaside Heights has it's a very honky-tonk town. It's got a very lively boardwalk, which goes late into the evening, and there are a lot of shops where you get sweatshirts with, that say "I love MILFs," "I love big tits," what have you. And you can get all that kind of stuff in Seaside Heights on the boardwalk. And unfortunately, for those of you who vacation in Virginia Beach, you will not be able to buy that kind of stuff on the boardwalk. I'm looking here at a picture of a T-shirt that says "I love hot moms," and so don't we all. But local businesses in Virginia Beach are set to remove vulgar clothing from their boardwalk displays in an ambitious drive to make the tourist hotspot more welcoming for families. The Virginia Beach City Council signed off on a resolution Tuesday to clean up the commercial areas close to the beach by eliminating the suggestive pun-laden shirts and hot pants from sight. This is the New York Post. The council claims the city's major thoroughfare, which houses most of the resorts and restaurants, has become inundated with the humorous garments, contradicting the beach town's mission of being a family-friendly vacation destination. So, yeah, you're seeing this more and more with beach towns now, and there have been various things driving it. I think a lot of it is businesses, like the insurance that businesses need to carry, I'm sure is affected by if they're in a party town or if they're in like a nice family town. So I'm sure that you have to carry less liability if you're in like a chill place where people go for a fucking like a cup of chowder and some saltwater taffy, than if it's the kind of place where people are going to be getting fucking hammered and getting into fist fights in the pizzeria or whatever. So I'd imagine that has a lot to do with it, right? Business owners looking to make money, not fucking spend on insurance, keeping shitheads away. And then the remote work thing has also turned a lot of these towns, like Belmar, DJs, a great example, used to get jumping at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Like it used to be, if you weren't there by 3, you were going to stand on a 40-minute line to get in. Now Belmar is more of a town of people who live there year round. So the party crowd doesn't show up until later. They get there, closer to, say 7 or 8 o'clock, or they wait until the night shift, as it were. They don't really come to happy hour anymore. They come for the nighttime. So you see these things creating changes there. And also, like, I'm also sure that like things like social media and all of these, the mom brands that are out there, like they have around us, they have like Hoboken Girl. And I was reading on Reddit, these fucking white women going crazy, arguing over which Jersey City moms Facebook group is the official one and which one's run by a piece of shit. And they're naming names and fucking calling each other out. But these social media pages reach thousands and thousands of people, and they tell them, hey, if you're going on a vacation, go to this place, not that place. We like this. And they realize that like families have money to spend, and apparently shirts advertising your love for hot moms do not attract families, which I think is unfortunate, because I think that as much as you do need the Long Beach Islands of the world, and the ocean, not Ocean City, Maryland, which is a delight, but like the Ocean City, New Jersey's of the world, like places where it's a family place. You're gonna walk the boardwalk, get some soft serve, watch some fireworks, all of that shit, which is nice. It's nice. I get it. If you have a family, like that's what you do to prevent yourself from killing yourself, from doing a murder suicide that's going to land you on the cover of the local news website. You go, you get some soft serve and some funnel cake, and you play skee ball, and that's, you convince yourself that that's what you wanted, right? That's what you're here for. They're great, and that's why you get up every day and you go to that job that you took instead of following your dreams, so that you could have and support this family. And it's good, right? Because mom and dad are happy, they get to be grandparents, and the in-laws, your wife is, we gotta have the kids. My parents want to be grandparents. They're getting older. I want them to see grandparents. So you did it. You caved. You had the family. All the fun. You see people walking by with drinks in their hands, smiles, chicks in short cutoff shorts, and they're holding hands with some jack dude in a tank top, and they're laughing. You see the wristband on their arm, that says they're 21. They can go drink at the boardwalk bar. And the guy's grabbing her ass a little bit and playing and having fun. You have a stroller full of fucking diapers and emergency changes of baby clothes, and you are spending a lot of energy convincing yourself that this was the right idea. And you want a beach place where you can do that, and apparently because you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen when you walk by, if you're with your wife and the kid, and you see it says, I love hot moms, and she hasn't fucking worked out since she got pregnant, and the pregnancy was an excuse for her to never work out again. So now she's walking that she's just a fucking bag of frump. She's got like the oversized beach hoodie on, and she's wearing a pair of cutoffs as well, but any sense of definition has been lost completely from her legs. They're just a couple of fucking popsicle sticks holding saggy leg meat. And you got to listen to her complain about the I love hot moms shirt, and you walk by a fucking boardwalk bar, and that thump of music, and you look inside, and you hear people laughing and having fun, and you don't want that there anymore. You don't want that in your face, reminding you that there is joy and excitement in the world. You just want to be around other people who have made the same miserable decision as you, other people who've thrown it all away to raise the next generation. And this is what we wind up with. So congratulations, mothers of Pinterest. You've claimed yet another victim. The war on fun continues. The good time crowd has lost another battle. We cede yet more terrain, and it's a shame. Your eye, well, that could be, Mike. That could be that could be viewed as highly offensive to some people. Yeah. I don't know. Do they look? I'm I'm glancing down at my laptop here. So my one of them's always half shut, but my lids are we're kind of glancing down. I would imagine if you saw me in person, they'd look uh, a tad more normal. But I appreciate your concern. Yeah, cheese. The private pile stare of the father at the Jersey Shore with like multiple kids. Usually, if it's a couple with like one kid and it's just the three of them I tend to notice kind of having more of a good time. Like they're not overrun. Like it's usually just them and the three of them are sitting on a blanket and playing in the waves and stuff, and it's kind of all good. It's like the family when there's like multiple of them, and like I mean, even I went to a baseball game with my dad, my brother, and my 3-year-old nephew a couple weeks ago, and like you don't take into account like they drove and they parked at like the back of the parking lot, and like just walking a fucking 3-year-old from there to the stadium in that mass of people to the seat in the searing 90-degree Queens weather to watch this just miserable fucking baseball team piss away the second half of the season. You don't realize just how much of a fucking pain in the ass that is. Like to the point where you're almost like, you don't want to turn the kid into like a hyper dependent little pussy, but at the same time, for the sake of fucking, getting the show on the road, you just want to be like, scoop his ass up, carry him over his shoulder. Let's get into the stadium. But yeah, there are, they're out there. I'm going to see them tomorrow. I mean, I'm going to see both sides of this. I'm going out with my aunt and my uncle. They don't have kids, so I get treated like the fucking child that they didn't have. So Mikey's going to get some little raw bar, some boardwalk brewskis, probably some slices, get down on some pizza. You know, probably get some sweet souvenirs off the boardwalk. Maybe a T-shirt that says "I love hot moms." But yeah, you see them and you're like I know you're telling me that it's fulfilling and all of that, but I don't know. Like what I'm seeing, it does me, being an uncle's pretty good. I show up with some gifts, I crack a few jokes, I make some fart sounds, my niece laughs her ass off. Fucking that's it for me. I'm out. Yes, yeah, 4 kids. Jesus, jeez Louise. 2 feels like a good number. I think you can live with 2. But you start creeping up past that, and it's like, good luck there, partner. Yeah, she wore a muumuu to the lake, of course. Yeah, women, for some reason, there is, and I think it's getting less and less thanks to the advent of leggings and whatnot, and Instagram and the pressure to rebound your body. But there are women out there who think that motherhood is an excuse to let themselves go, and this is just what a woman looks like, and blah, 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 bunch of fucking bullshit. We know now that it's no longer a secret how to keep your body in great shape your entire life, no one has an excuse not to be in good shape, barring some sort of like, thyroid, like serious hormone fucking issue, but which is not most of the population. Good boy, Cheese. Tell her to keep showing those cheeks. That is a trend we need to keep going. this shift that has taken place in the last decade, where women are just the bikinis are just buried in their ass crack, and you're seeing full ass on display at the beach, it's tremendous. Like, it's one of the greatest developments in the world. It should be celebrated. It should be encouraged. Yeah, absolutely. That's it. Cheese, you get it. You are a man after my own heart. Um, and you might be saying, Mike, your opinions on women's bodies and the role of a woman are very dated. They come from a time that has come in 20 years at least past that. And if that's the case, if that's what you're saying, then you are probably one of these people who is furious with Maxim magazine after their unsexiest women list surfaces with surprising first place winner, ridiculously cruel, quotes the New York Post. I love them. I love the Post. Their opening line in this article, more like unsexy and the city, because Sarah Jessica Parker topping the Mount Rushmore of off-putting celebs. The unflattering ranking came to light via a Reddit post that raised eyebrows online. The Reddit poster says in 2007, Maxim thought it was clever to publish a list of unsexiest women alive. Here are the 5 women they selected. And it's so funny. And Sarah Jessica Parker, of course, won. And this is the line that this is the line they used for Sarah Jessica Parker. They wrote, "How the hell did this racehorse Barbaro? They remember the racehorse Barbaro faced broad managed to star on a show with sex in the title," which is just such a. It's a great 2007 dig. Like, it's just a mean, joke for the joke line. And then Amy Winehouse, who they described as having openly hemorrhaging translucent skin, rat's nest mane, and lashes that look more like surgically attached bats. Like, this just sounds like they got a really, really like vicious, resentful gay man to write these. Like, they went out to every brunch spot in Chelsea, and they found a guy who hated all of these women, and they just said, have at, gave him pen and paper and said, have at it. Grey's Anatomy star Sandra Oh placed third. She had face mash with cold bedside manner and boyish figure. Self-righteous belly aching and rapid postnuptial deterioration landed pop sensation Madonna in fourth, with the mag comparing her to Nosferatu actor Willem Dafoe. Yeah, incredible stuff. And of course, they Maxim used to do the Hot 100, the hottest chicks in the celebrity sphere. And so I guess the unsexiest was sort of like a Razzie Awards, the New York Post is saying, which, it's fun. It was Maxim. It was a very Maxim was a very cheeky magazine. They would write, if you would read, I loved Maxim. There were, it was because this was in an era when hot chicks were not abundant. People don't realize that. We are living in a golden age of hot chicks. There are women who in the early 2000s we would have considered to be ugly or fat or whatever, who have, through the magic of makeup tutorials and dressing like sluts, have made themselves sexually appealing in 2025. And lifting what right CrossFit has taken a lot of women who would have just previously been fat chicks and turned them into thick baddies. This didn't really exist back then. There were a couple of hot chicks. Maxim scoured the entire world and only found 100 for their list. No, but like it was true. Like if you were like, I remember being in high school and even in college. I went to a smaller college, and it was like there was like a chick below whose level you almost like wouldn't hook up with. And I feel like now there are less and less, like there are more and more chicks have found ways to like own their positive traits and make themselves more appealing. Back in the early 2000s, this just was not the case. And it was Maxim's job to point that out, and people are upset, saying it didn't age well. But that was the time. Again, it wasn't cool to not be sexy back then. It was all about there was and I liked it. There was a certain leaning into vanity, right? Abercrombie and Fitch, the sort of height of vanity culture. Where they literally had shirtless people standing at the shirtless dudes and chicks in bikinis standing at the door, greeting people as they walked in. And you had to, have a certain look to work. That it was until the fat chicks, or I think there was an Asian chick that sued them or something like that because of. And then all of a sudden they had to start hiring regular looking people, and it all went downhill. Very, very unfortunate. But I loved Maxim, was great. You would go, you'd read it, you'd see women, very sexy women. And then there would be great book recommendations, cologne samples. There'd be some really nice long form articles about like different, adventures or the lives of like, fascinating people. It was a good shitter read, and to a degree, so much better than the phone. Like there were really well written jokes and different like comic strips and stuff. It was like, between that and like a few workout magazines and some other stuff like National Geographic, like you could take a shit and read some good stuff back in the day. Now there's obviously a lot more volume, but I feel like the quality has gone down, and it's a screen, it's blasting your eyes, and it's too interactive. Like there was something about just being in there, you and the magazine, and you're reading it, and you're like, oh yeah, if I do more lat raises, my shoulders will look great. That's a good idea. More lat raises. Let's go. You put that down. National Geographic, the Bengal tiger. What did you read all about the Bengal tiger? Fascinating stuff. Or some uncontacted tribe in the Amazon. But now, you're scrolling and you're seeing, it's Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Yeah, Maxim was great. FHM, very good. Men's Health was great. There were also at the back of those magazines, there were a lot of ads for stuff like the Liberator, that sex pad, that ramp sex pad that people would use. They had ads for that, and then we're seeing a comment there. It's making me chuckle. there was that and like a couple other like sex items in there, and you would get a look at like a chick with in like a thong or something like that. So it wound up making like decent jack fodder back in the day too, because we weren't so our receptors hadn't been so washed over by the internet yet. But yeah, now yes, the wedge, the liberator. Yeah, I believe it's the liberator, but the wedge is the triangle. Yeah. Chucky D. Wow, I was clicking and your paragraph just came in. That reminds me of the early 2000s when everyone kept some sort of comedy book or magazine stack in the bathroom. Yeah, of course, it was great going and finding someone else's bathroom magazine supply, which now in retrospect, you look back and it was like we were all shitting and then reading the same book. It's a little weird. But yeah. Um, yeah, you would. There would be these joke books, or like people do crossword puzzles in there. Going to the bathroom really was an event. Yeah, Brandon eating. Bathroom readers are full of racially charged comments. No, I love you would eat edible underwear from Spencer's during class. Of course, edible underwear. Yeah, it would be the usually, if I recall correctly, the the part that went by the actual underwear, the garment would be made out of like a fruit roll up consistency product, and then it was attached to sort of a strap tape that they would have to put on. A very not the most practical garment. If you have a long day of errands, probably not the best way to go. Although I guess that would certainly soften up the panty, make it a little bit more chewable, and leave a rather nice taste and aroma on the woman's parts. But yeah, great call, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. But yeah, no, Maxim was it was incredible back then. I had a magazine rack in my bathroom until last year when I moved out of my old place. But the magazines would not hold up well in the bathroom. Like by the end of their month, they were like from like the steam from the shower, they'd always be like crinkled and heavily water damaged. But now you're in there, you're on your phone, you're scrolling the internet, and instead of looking at Maxim's ugliest celebrities, you're seeing guys like this American Airlines vaping passenger. This story that was going viral. I'm not going to play the video just because he's got like a contact in it for, I guess, a PR agency who now owns the rights to it, and I don't like the copyright law is not a fun thing to deal with. But he was vaping in the bathroom on an American Airlines flight, and the flight attendant busted in on him. I guess they can get in there because they realized he was vaping, and he's now accusing them of violating his dignity and his privacy in ways that left him shaken, humiliated, and hurt. And I'm wondering, given that language, if he did this on purpose. Like he was like, fuck it, let me go vape in the bathroom on a plane. They'll bust in. I've got a little bit of a social following. I'll make a thing out of it. And they'll settle. They'll send me, I'll threaten to sue, and they'll settle and send me some money, or at the very least give me, maybe some free flights, some miles, whatever. But I I'm less concerned about that and more the fact that he refers to himself as a celebrity pickleball coach, which just is so it's so of the time that we're living in that there's a headline about a celebrity pickleball coach going viral because he got caught vaping on a flight and his feelings are now hurt is probably the most 2025 uh, other than people being upset about an 18-year-old Maxim article, people being dumb enough to view a 2-decade old Maxim article through the lens of the year 2025 is just about as 2025 of a thing as a celebrity pickleball coach, a self-proclaimed celebrity pickleball coach, getting pissed off at an airline because they caught him vaping in the bathroom, and he has decided that they are the ones who is wrong, who are wrong. I absolutely love it. That is the pickleball it's a geriatric sport. It's for old people. The purpose was to get them moving in multiple directions and swinging their arms and their hand-eye coordination and doing it in a sort of controlled and fun setting in which they could do it. They could socialize. It gets them up. It gets them out. They're in the fresh air. Pickleball has turned into every 30 or 40 something dickhead who was never good at real sports has now made it their mission in life to define their masculinity or claim strong womanhood on the pickleball court. Like they're out there, they're firing the fucking ball at each other. They're getting into fights. They're shit talking. They have these huge fucking tournaments. It's insane. It's insane behavior. Pickleball really, like, if you meet someone who's in their 30s or 40s and has already started playing pickleball, you need to know that there's something wrong with the person that you're dealing with. It's a sport. It's a geriatric sport that has been adopted by younger shitheads. And I think the king of those shitheads is a guy who proclaims himself a celebrity pickleball coach and then hotboxes an airplane bathroom in hopes that he'll be able to shake down American for some cash, some miles, and some flights. So you might have seen that while you were scrolling, or perhaps you might have seen. It's very good, Conqueror. But looking at porn, taking a dump, giving me a fucking complex. Sometimes I read something in the comments section that just delights me. But if you weren't looking at that on social media, you might have seen Taylor on the New Heights podcast. Oh my God. Did you know that they set record numbers and that did you know Taylor Swift is a global force to be reckoned with? Did you know that? Did you know that if she showed up on a podcast with two Super Bowl champion brothers who are currently experiencing a great deal of sort of viral and mainstream fame outside of sports? Did you know that that would draw a lot of views? Because apparently the way people are talking about this fucking thing, and I've seen clips from it, and I have yet to see any kind of wow moment where I'm like, wow, this was worth it. Like she went on to it, like it so heavily just reeked of PR drip. Like this, I don't know what blows me away about Taylor Swift, and I tried to be open minded when she was dating Kelsey and everything, and because she's been a popular artist for years, I was like, sure, let's hear some Taylor Swift. Play me some Taylor Swift. And I know the hits, and the haters gonna hate it. Yeah. Sure. We get it. But that's it. That's pop music. I'm not susceptible. I'm not unsusceptible to a bouncing pop ditty, and especially if you can remix it, and it's something that they'll play at a bar in Hoboken while I'm out having a couple beers with the trainers that I work with. If we have a staff meeting on a Friday, we usually we go out for a few pops afterwards, and the Taylor Swift is it's the kind of shit that the top 40. The dancified top 40 that they play at bars in every yuppie city, right? That's and fine. There was no issue with that whatsoever. I don't, it doesn't really do a whole lot for me, but it's good. It's there. It's kind of everybody can agree on, party music, as it were. Whatever. If it's playing when I go to pick up a pliable down on the boardwalk, and that's bopping from the back, and the staff is all teenagers. It's whatever. It's very whatever. Beyond that, like I've said before, I heard Teardrops on My Guitar once in the grocery store, and while it was playing, and before I heard the Teardrops on My Guitar line, I was thinking to myself, Jesus Christ, this song fucking blows. Like, what is this garbage? And then I heard the teardrops on My Guitar, and I was like, okay, this is bullshit. And then on top of that, just the unnecessary footage at the football games. It's too fucking much. And we hadn't really heard from her for a while. It was kind of good, and I think we were starting to get some Kelsey fatigue. It was like a little too much, a little, enough. We get it. Travis dresses like he's 15 years old, and fucking Jason likes to drink beers, and it's wow. Look at these guys. They're fun. They have really become like that, like what Wayne Brady is to black guys for white people. The Kelsey brothers have become to football players for the non-football set. Like they have become the sort of safe representative to latch on to, right? Like non-hip hop whites are not latching on to fucking Red Man, Method Man, the old dirty bastard DMX. They're not. That's not safe for them, right? No, moms aren't dancing to that at weddings. They're not watching. They wouldn't watch a talk show hosted by DMX. May he rest in peace. So this is the same way. The NFL is really filled with like very, very violent psychopaths for the most part, that would be, generally speaking, sort of repellent to the non-football audience. The Kelsey brothers have made themselves this very safe bridge to the rest of society. And this Travis and Taylor thing is like this phony obsession that everyone is supposed to have with this relationship. Like, how do we really think it happened? Do you really think that this all happened from him slipping her a friendship bracelet or whatever the fuck this was? Or do we think that it was, one of his people reached out to her people and said, hey, Travis is he's into Taylor. They think she's cute, whatever. And Taylor's people were like, oh, maybe there's an arc there, a little something. how can we set something up? Maybe if he gave her a friendship bracelet, sure. And then, yeah, they could spend some time together. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they do like each other. It works out great. Otherwise, we get some great tabloid stuff out of it. You know, Perfect. And then there's you swag surfing, which is very irritating, and they're walking in together and all of this shit. And finally, last season it felt like it kind of petered out, right? The Chiefs got their asses kicked in the Super Bowl, so there was no reason there was not going to be a float that she was going to be on, or a fucking, after party footage of her. And we were kind of like, we can take a deep breath. We can now go on with football and go back to football. And maybe, she'll be in the background, sort of like Giselle or Jessica Simpson or Carrie Underwood, or, who were always, they were there, Olivia Culpo, Haley Steinfeld. They're these celebrity girlfriends and wives. They're there. Of course, you're in the NFL. You want to fuck celebrity pussy. We get that. Who doesn't? And then this thing comes out, and now you have to sit through all of the people act like it's like, oh, that everyone's watching it and it's this organic thing. It's like, it's all bullshit. The story about her buying back her music, and I sent my mom and they made this emotional appeal, and honey, we think maybe that they may do it. And like, let's be fucking honest. Like, that story was complete fucking bullshit. Fucking nonsense. Oh, your mom went and negotiated it. And yeah. Shut the fuck up. You sent some people. They gave a number. They gave a number back. You met in the middle on a different number. You got down to the nitty gritty on the details, and you made a deal. You made a fucking deal with lawyers and money, the way everything in the fucking entertainment industry has always been. But now we have to sit here and watch these two fucking idiots nod along and pretend, oh, it's this amazing moment. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, do you realize, by the way, this image that they're trying to make of the Kelsey brothers now, where like he's gazing longingly at her, and oh, it's this cute story and all this fucking shit. Like, do you realize the things that have probably come out of their mouths on the football field to opponents? I guarantee you they would not fly with the Swifties. The things that they have said. If we got a list of I would say, not even the worst things, the most middling things that those guys have said on the field or in the locker room, the Swifties would demand an immediate breakup and cancellation. And it's just, I think what everybody dislikes about this, or the people like me who have come to dislike it, is that if you haven't been caught up in it, it all seems like so obviously like just a massive, massive work. And again, they may have a great relationship and actually love each other, but nobody is actually like that. Nobody who's in a real relationship is like that. Because this has been going on now since what? Late 25 right now. What was this going on? Since 2023, like that summer, maybe? Summer of 23. So they're, cresting 2 years now. No one's looking at their significant other like that after 2 fucking years, especially at that age. You're like, and maybe it's because they don't spend that much time together, because he has an NFL career and she's touring and all of that. So maybe that's it. Maybe there's still this excitement of coming off the road, and he gets to have sex with what is considered by, I guess, some people to be an attractive woman. She's very she is the most plain looking chick on the fucking planet. There's no sex appeal there, to be honest. Like, there's no, I saw the video. I was in a situation where I didn't have a choice but to watch these videos, and there was no, overwhelming charisma to it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so, because I work in the fitness industry, I am friends with a handful of like 25-year-old chicks, and they all fucking love her. And that, at that age, I kind of understand it. Like, you're still going through, you're young, and that's all right. Yeah, I get it. Okay, yeah, fine. And they're otherwise they're great people, and fucking, you can't go wrong having some fucking like bubbly, fun 25-year-old broads in your social group. Trust me, when you're hanging out with people in their 30s and 40s, having a few of those chicks around really elevates everything. They're good mood machines. Yes, cheese. No, it hasn't. They're great though. No, like, absolutely, God bless them. But our musical tastes and our pop culture interests do not align. It's when I run into people in their 30s, that like their mid and late 30s, who are obsessed with Taylor Swift, and that they can see something like this. They can watch these videos and not be like, this is just an object being marketed to people. She is Mickey Mouse. Like, that's all this. She's Mickey Mouse. Like, it's just a product. She doesn't actually care about. She may care in a sense that she's made a lot of money off of her fans, and she loves that, and that gives her a joy in like performing or whatever. But generally speaking, like, the idea that she actually cares about her fans, every time she gives something to them or does something for them, it's just all part of a marketing scheme. Like, can we please stop? I don't need to see people in their 30s and 40s in awe of Taylor Swift. That is the problem. 20-something women, teenage women, enjoy it. It's for you. If you are older than that and you are awestruck by Taylor Swift and this relationship and what you saw on this podcast, there's something wrong. There is something wrong intellectually. It's just bad. I don't understand it. Awful stuff. Brandon, incredible. She looks dry. Yes, that is exactly how I would describe it. And thank you, Brandon. Thank you for complimenting my great Hawaiian here. I have a very deep collection of Hawaiian shirts. So during the summer months, obviously we go summer mode. You see the palm trees and the flamingos. I always bring a little island fun to the show. I just want to address something, since we are I really do love and appreciate the even the ones I don't get up on the screen. I read while I scroll by, and I delight in them. Berilac Chubb, how do I feel about Micah Parsons sticking around? No way Jerry lets him go. Yeah, I mean, if you've watched the way the Cowboys negotiate with their stars, this seems to be the way they do it. It took forever to get the Dak deal done. It looked like we were going to see Dak go into free agency, which I think, that would have driven the price up, and someone would have been very happy to have him. And you saw CD hold out last year, which caused some huge problems with the offense earlier. If you remember early in the season last year, the first few weeks, Jake Ferguson was the fucking like that was, for all the shit that Dak Prescott gets, his answer on offense for the first few games last year was Jake Ferguson, who is a really, I love Ferguson as Cowboys tight end. Really happy to have him. They just paid him a lot of money. And I think he's a really, really good pass catching tight end, but he is not a number one receiver. Jake Ferguson shines when the pressure is relieved from him because there are two other threats on the field, which is with CD and Pickens. Hopefully, we see a little bit of this year. Although what I hear about the running game, it's still a fucking disaster. What I have heard from the joint practices that the Cowboys had with the Rams is that when the ones were going against the ones, Dak Pickens and Jake Ferguson were just putting on a fucking show. But the offensive line remains a liability, and they still haven't figured out how to run the ball. As far as Micah, I think they'll get a deal done. They can control him for 3 more seasons because he's under contract, and then they can franchise tag him twice. So fine. If with a guy like him not practicing, I think is less of an issue. Like, he's been at practice. He knows what's going on with the defense, and you use him so much more as a game wrecking player who you don't like a receiver. It's such a timing thing, right? Like CD holding out was like, you would see on balls where like there were a couple interceptions or wild incompletions last year where it was like, why did the ball go to a spot 15 yards away from where the receiver is? And you see Dak and CD chatting about it on the sideline. And it's like, oh, the reason that happened is because the receiver wasn't in fucking training camp. So they don't have those little things locked on where, if you see one thing out of the safety, we're going to have you adjust the route here. If you see another thing, we're going to have you go over here. If we like this, we like that. The little minutia that really makes great offensive football, especially in the passing game. With a guy like Micah, who you're like, we're just going to have him use in so many ways. We're going to use the rest of the defense to free, or at least the rest of the defensive front to free up this freak of an athlete to just go make, game-wrecking plays and improvise and get behind the line of scrimmage. I think that's less of a problem. So ultimately, I think they'll get a deal done with him. I understand him holding out and not wanting to risk his health before he gets an extension. I understand both sides of this. The NFL is a business, and there are millions of dollars at stake in a situation where the violent physicality of the sport means that you could, at a moment's notice, even in a non-contact drill, because of the changes of direction and the power with which these guys move, you could lose, as we've seen with the defensive backfield of the Cowboys has just been fucking riddled with non-contact injuries of late. You understand from a management position why they're hesitant to just fork over large sums of guaranteed money, and you understand from a player perspective why they put a foot in the ground and they say, "Fuck you, pay me." So it's just, that is the business of the NFL. I do think sooner than later they will get a deal done. Otherwise, if he wants to be traded, let's see what the market dictates. Because if you're going to say you're giving up Micah Parsons, then you need. It's tricky because you're not going to get guys who can play right now and be at his level, because any team that's going to want him is going to want him to win right now, or they're not going to give you the picks down the line that you would want in compensation, because they would be, if it's a team in a rebuild, then they very much want those picks. So tricky stuff, but I feel Jero will get there eventually. Micah getting traded to the Hawks, and they're going on a Super Bowl run. Chucky, what do we get in return if he goes to Seattle? That's always the thing, and I don't know. Again, I don't know what the Seahawks have, in terms of picks coming up in the years to come. But again, if you're trading Micah, and it's if you're not going to get something on the field in return, we're talking it would be like a fucking Herschel Walker kind of fucking like there would need to be an astronomical amount of compensation. But always curious to hear people's yes, Chucky, I agree. It would have to be a generous package. But I love Micah. He's been such a fun guy to watch, and he's a very interesting mind. So I'd love to see him stick around, but we'll see. Jerry eventually does get deals done historically, so we'll see. Monday morning mowing with Mike. Who are we talking about here? This is very vague. But anyway. Oh, are we talking the male cheerleader? He was fabulous. Yeah. Antonio Brown is not thrilled. He is not happy about that. You can check out his commentary on Twitter, and you can find me on Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram at Gary_Moyler, Moyler. Of course, the stream here on YouTube at Mike's Golden Streams. Sacktap Live is the show, the podcast, the audio version, the Savage Sacktap. Also available wherever you get your podcasts. Again, next week, not sure if it's going to be live or pre-recorded, and then off the following. It's the end of summer. I got to get my jollies a few more times. But thank you guys for being here. A lot of fun tonight. Good back and forth with you boys in the comments section. Adios, motherfuckers. Have a great weekend. I'll catch you next time.